Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on sensory details. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English language arts. We're doing grade 3. And then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of sensory details. All right. So chapter is sensory details. Our subject is English language arts. We're doing grade 3. And then the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of sensory details is to sort sensory details as well as to identify sensory details. All right. So when it comes to sensory details, firstly, the word sensory comes from, when we have our senses, right? And when it comes to our senses, then it's either things that you can touch, you can see, you can smell, taste, and so on, right? That is to do with our senses. So that is why when they say sensory details, and then it means that it is where we basically going to be, it's like things that you can either touch, things that you can either see, things that you can smell, and so on. All right. So it's to do with our five senses. That is what sensory details are. Let me write it down for you. So we can say sensory details. It uses the five senses. And our five senses is touch. I'm going to put it in a bracket. Touch. Where you can either hear, so it's sound, taste, right? Smell with our nose, and also sight, what you can see, right? That is our five senses. So when it comes to sensory details, right, then it's to do with it uses basically our sensory details. Sensory details, it uses our five senses, which is either to touch, right? You can either feel with your hands or so on. Sound, something that you can hear, sound that you can hear, music that you can hear, anything that you can hear, even whispering, whatever that you can hear from a distance. Taste, right? Smell, as well as sight, something that you can see or things that you can see. That is our five senses. All right. So today, right, in our lesson on sensory details, we are going to be sorting out the different sensory details. And meaning that we're going to sort out words or things that you can either touch, you can hear, you can taste, smell, or see, because that is to do with our senses, right? And then we will identify certain sensory details. All right. And if you can think of a few examples, right, of any forms of sensory details, things that you can touch, sound, taste, smell, or see, right? We are going to be sorting out those things under things that you can touch, things that you can sound, you can hear, things that you can taste, smell, and see. So now we're going to A plus students.ca and we're going to sort sensory details, right? So now we're going to look at, for example, these example that is given to us, right? Not even examples, an activity. So here we have activities that is given to us. We need to sort out. So we now need to look at the words that is given to us, right? And we need to sort it out under sight, things that you can see, and touch, things that you can touch, right? Because, like I said, when it comes to our sensory details, right, it uses the five senses. And then with the five senses, we are not going to have to sort out what are the things that I can touch? What are the things that I can see? What are the things that I can smell? What are the things that I can hear? And what are the things that I can smell or taste, right? Yes, that is correct. So it is touch, sound, taste, smell, and see or sight. Yes, well done. So now we're going to look at these words, right, that is given to us, and we're going to sort them out under things that you can see and things that you can touch, right? All right. So now if we look at the first one says sticky table top. A sticky table top. Is it something that you can see or something that you can touch? A sticky tablecloth, tabletop. So a sticky tabletop, is it something that you can see or is it something that you can touch? We need to sort out that four words or that four under two that we can see and two that we can touch. That is correct. Yes, we can see our hands. But now, if we look at these words over here, I'm going to put numbers by the words, right? Then you can tell me number one is sight or number one is touch or so on, right? So, sticky tablecloth, right? Number one. Toothless grin, number two. Clear skies, number three. And scratchy grass, number four. We need to sort out two under things that you can only see but you cannot touch, and then two under things that you can touch. So, what are the words that you can only see but you cannot touch? Number one, is it a sticky tablecloth? Number two, a toothless grin. Number three, clear skies. Or number four, scratchy grass. And if we were to sort these words under the sensory, details or sense, the different senses, then we can say a toothless grin, right? It's like somebody grinning, you know. That is something that you can see, but you cannot touch, right? So we're gonna put here toothless grin and the sight only. Clear skies. We can see clear skies, but you cannot touch clear skies. And then a sticky tablecloth. Yes, I can see it, but also you can touch it. And scratchy grass. We can see the grass because now we're sitting on the grass and now we are itching. So we call that a scratchy grass, right? So that is how we basically sorted out now the different types of sensory details under things that you can only see and things that you can touch, right? So keeping in mind, when it comes to sensory details, it uses the five senses. And we are now going to have to sort out the different types of sensory details under the five senses. In this case, under sight or under touch, right? Things that you can see, things that you can touch. All right. Let's look at the next one. It says we need to sort out the sensory details under things that we can only see and things that we can smell. The things that we can only see or things that we can only smell, right? It says number one, I'm going to put numbers to it. Glittering gold medal. Number two, a dotted wrapping paper. Number three, we have skunks spray. And number four, lemony dish soap. So we now need to sort out those words under things that you can see and things that you can smell. And if we look at that four words or the four sensory details, what are the things that we can see and what are the things that we can only smell? So the things that we can see and the things that we can only smell. All right. So if we were to look at the first one, something that we can see, right? And then we will say a glittering gold medal. That is something that you can see because we cannot smell a glittering gold medal, right? So we're going to say under sight, something that we can see is a glittering gold medal. Number two, dotted wrapping paper. Is that something that we can see or something that you can smell? Dotted wrapping paper. And if we were to look at the dotted wrapping paper, that isn't something that we can smell, right? Of course, you smell the wrapping paper, but I mean, it's not like, it's got a fragrancy smell or a stinky smell. So we're going to say dotted wrapping paper is something that we can see. If you look at the third one, skunk's spray. A skunk spray. Think of a skunk. What is the scent that the skunk leaves? The spray of that skunk. Is it something that we can see or something that we can smell? Something that we can see or smell. Yes, well done. If we look at a skunk spray, remember the scent that the skunk leaves. That is why they're specifically saying the skunk spray. They're not just saying the skunk, but the spray, the scent that he leaves. That is something that we can smell. So the skunk's spray. If we look at the next one, lemony, they're specifically giving you the name, the first word, lemony. Lemony dish soap. So lemony dish soap, is that something that you can see or you can smell? Lemony dish soap. Yes, so with lemony dish soap, that is why they specifically said lemony, right? It's like the scent that you're going to be getting, so we can put lemony dish soap under smell. Yes, you can see the dish soap, right? But they're specifically saying lemony dish soap. And that is something that you can smell. What is the smell? It is more lemony, right? It's like a lemon type of smell. So these are our sensory details, right? It is words that you can either see, or things that you can either see, or things that you can either smell. So when it comes to sensory details, like we said once again, it uses our different senses, which is sight, which is smell, um, touch, which is sound or to hear, and to taste, right? That is our five senses. And when it comes to our sensory details, we are basically sorting out things that you can see, things that you can smell, or whatever the heading is that they want you to put it under, right? Like glitter, like a glittering gold medal. A gold medal. That is something that I can see. I cannot smell a gold medal. The same with dotted wrapping paper. It's not like they're saying it is a strawberry dotted wrapping paper. If they were to give us a specific flavor, then by all means, it will go under smell. All right, let's do one more, then we're going to a test. If we look at the next one, right, we need to sort the sensory details. And it says the first one, number one says shiny blue ribbon. We need to say is that something that you can see or something that you can taste? Something that you can see or something that you can taste. A shiny blue ribbon. Number two, dotted wrapping paper. Number three, buttery pasta. And number four, bitter chocolate. We need to sort out these words or these sensory details under things that you can see, which is sight, or things that you can taste. So what we need to put it under things that you can see and things that you can taste. If we look at the first one, right? A shiny blue ribbon. A shiny blue ribbon. Is that something that you can see or something that you can taste? A shiny blue ribbon. Is that something we can see or something that we can taste? The first one. All right. And if we were to say if it's something that you can see or taste, then yes, we will say the shiny blue ribbon is something that you can see. If you look at the second one, a dotted wrapping paper. So, dotted wrapping paper, is that something that you can see, which is sight, or something that you can taste? So, dotted wrapping paper, is that something that you can see, which is sight, or something that you can taste? And if we were to choose the correct one or the correct sensory details, then yes, we will say dotted wrapping paper is something that you can see. All right, now if we look at the third one, buttery pasta. Buttery pasta is it something that you can see or something that you can taste? Buttery pasta. So buttery pasta is it something that you can see or taste? Yes, well done. If we look at buttery pasta, then that is something that you can taste. They even putting the nice and buttery pasta. And that is something that you can taste. Yes, we see the buttery pasta, but if they're specifically telling you buttery pasta is like, very nice, you know? And then bitter chocolate. Bitter chocolate. Is that something that you can see or something that you can taste? Bitter chocolate. All right. So whether it is sweet chocolate, whether it is bitter chocolate, whether it is dark chocolate, it is something that we can taste. So bitter chocolate. Right? So this is basically how we can sort out words under things that you can see or things that you can taste. All right. So now we're going to our test where we are going to sort out sensory details. And it says, sort out the sensory details. All right. And this is like the same, this is the same as the activity that we did, where we said we need to sort out these four sensory details under stuff that you can see or things that you can touch. And if we were to choose the correct options, right, then we will say that option one, which is sticky tablecloth, is stuff that we can only see. And then toothless gum, toothless grin is something that we can. Oh, sorry. So sticky tablecloth is something that you can touch. And then if you look at the next one, toothless grin, that is something that you can see. Oh, I'm writing girl. So toothless grin. Clear skies is definitely something that we can only see. You cannot touch clear skies. And then we have scratchy grass, which is something we can touch. All right. Now we're going on to the next one. We already did that one. Ah, let's see all of the ones we did. Okay, now let's go to our test. Oh, this. All right. We need to say which one is, for example, must go correctly under the sensory details, right? If you look at those words, we have scratchy grass, tight pinching shoes, large gray elephant, hot bubble bath. Things that we can touch and things that you can see. And if you look at the options that is given to us, right? We must say that option one, hot bubble bath, tight pinching shoes, scratchy grass. Is that something that you can touch? And then large gray elephant is the only thing that you can see. Or is it option two, scratchy grass, tight pinching shoes, which is under touch, whereas under C is a hot bubble bath, a large gray elephant. So we need to say which one is correct. So option one, or is it option two? All right, and if we were to choose which one is correct, and then we will go with the first one. So well done. The first one is correct. Yes, option one is correct. So well done. So which means that the ones that we can touch is a hot bubble bath and so on. Let's look at the next one. It says we need to sort the sensory details under screaming baby, a baby that's screaming, salty crackers, buttery pound cake, spicy apple cider. So we need to sort them under stuff that we can taste and basically sound. And if we look at the options, number one, the first option shows under taste we have salty crackers, buttery pound cake, and spicy apple cider. And then under stuff that we can hear is the screaming baby. Or is it option two? Under taste we have salty crackers, screaming baby, and the sound we have buttery pound cake, spicy apple cider. Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct option, yes, option one is correct. Well done. So option one is correct. All right, the next one says we need to sort the sensory details under touch and things that we can taste. So under touch and under taste. A chilly night, a chilly night air, sweet baby carrots, soft fuzzy chick, sugary jelly roll. We need to put them under what you can touch and things that you can taste. And if you look at the options, option one says soft fuzzy chick and a chilly night air that is under touch. And things that you can taste is a sugary jelly roll, sweet baby carrots, or do we say we can touch option two, chilly night air and sweet baby carrots, and the taste is soft fuzzy chick, sugary jelly roll. Which one is correct? Option one or option two? So we need to choose the correct option. Which one is correct? That is under touch correctly and under taste correctly. All right, and if we were to choose the correct option, then we will say option one is correct. So well done. Option one is correct. Let's look at the next one. It says we need to sort out the sensory details under things that you can see, which is sight, and under things that you can touch. So we have warm sand. Is that something that you can see or touch? Then we have zigzagging coastline. We have fuzzy slippers. All right. So we need to put that under things that you can see, which is sight, and things that you can touch. So now if we look at the options, option one says the only thing that we can see is a zigzagging coastline. All right. So we need to choose either option one or option two. And if we were to choose the correct option, right, is it option one, zigzagging coastline is something that you can see, and then the touch is painful sunburn, fuzzy slippers, warm sand, option one. All right. And if we were to choose the correct option, to put things under, is it sensory details? All right. And if we were to choose the correct option, okay, let's go with number one, a zigzag coastline. Well done. Let's do the last one. Let's do the last one. It says sort out the sensory details. We have things that we can see and things that you can taste. All right. And if we were to choose the correct option, we have shiny blue ribbon, dotted wrapping paper, buttery pasta, bitter hot chocolate. We did this earlier on. And we're going to say the stuff that we can see and taste is option one. Things that you can see is a shiny blue ribbon and dotted wrapping paper. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson, grade threes on sensory details. Remember, we said the sensory detail, it uses the five senses. right. So this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade threes, for joining the class. Thank you very much for also interacting and giving your answers. And I really hope you are going to have a good weekend further. So till next time, goodbye. Thanks to you guys.